Mayor?
Yes.
Councilman Bueller will not be joining us for the council meeting or the redevelopment agency meeting tonight.
Now, he left actually early from our other meeting, didn't he?
He did. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Good evening. We welcome you all to the regular meeting of West Valley City Council. We note that we have a quorum present. 6 members of the council will be attending this electronic meeting. Council member Steve Bueller will be excused tonight. With that information then, we, I believe, have another video.
All right, hey everybody, this is Chief Bob Fitzgerald with West Valley City Fire Department. We are just about to wrap up week 3 of our recruit camp. This week's been a fun week, especially for the instructors, but we've been able to introduce the recruits to live fire. And we've been able to see how they handle the stress. We've also put a lot more stress on them when it comes to wearing their SCBA. We took them through a very difficult confidence course with confined space and collapse and all those kind of things to put them through those paces so that they get confident in their ability to work through difficult and panicky situations. All the recruits did very well in that, and they're making great progress. We're happy with the level that they're at right now. We still have an awful long way to go, but they've come along great, and we're just going to keep pushing.
My name's Taylor Ward. I'm with Murray City Fire, and we are on week 3 of recruit camp. It's been great. It's been a lot of fun. It's been challenging, and it's been a lot of fun to run a lot of drills. So, well, we went over fire inspections quite a bit this week, and so that was awesome. We went through with West Valley's fire inspectors, so we got a more in-depth detail on how to do company inspections. So that'll be awesome when we all get out on the floor. I love firefighting because I love that we work as a team. I love that it's like a family atmosphere.
Just flake it out that way.
I feel pretty close to the guys that I've been in camp with, and so it's been an awesome experience. That's something I love about firefighting is there's not just one way of doing things. There's multiple ways to do things and get the job done. And so I just like that it's a team atmosphere. I'm a pretty type A person, so I'll let you know what needs to get done so it gets done. We have 5 weeks left. We're ready to go.
Earlier in this week, we had a class called Fire Dynamics. And in that class, we teach them how fire flows through a house and how openings and ventilation points change the way the fire behaves. And then later in the day, we take them into our prop and build a pretty significant fire with a lot of heat. so that they can watch how the fire develops and how the smoke banks down in the room, and then the different effects that hose streams have on that fire. So it's a great learning opportunity for them to see what they do inside of a fire, inside of a structure, how it affects the fire, how it affects their environment, how it affects the visibility that they may or may not have, and the effects that it would have on someone that's trapped in there without all the protective equipment on. It's been a valuable week, so many lessons learned. In the drills that we just completed, we put them through quite a bit of stress, and they had multiple starts of fires in the structure, and they had to figure that out for themselves. They had to see how to find the seat of the fire and how to safely extinguish that. They made some great progress today, and we're looking forward to next week, putting them through more pressure. As I've told the recruits, it doesn't get easier from this point. It gets more difficult. We throw more challenges, more sophisticated things, more multiple skill drills at them. So it's not just putting their air pack on. Now they're putting it on for a purpose. Okay, like I say, we're wrapping up week 3 here. Great week, hard week, and we are looking forward to the future. We're working hard, and next week's going to be more difficult, but stay tuned because more's coming your way.
Okay. With that then, the next item on our agenda are the minutes. And we have our minutes of September 22nd.
Move for approval of those minutes.
And
Second.
there we go. Hearing no further comments, then without objection, we will consider the minutes approved. Hearing no objection, the minutes are approved and there were no dissenting votes. With that, then we go to our public comment period. I believe we have a couple of people. And so I believe these individuals have spoken before.
One of them has not, sir.
Oh, okay. If he isn't aware, source, of course, limit of 5 minutes. It's the individual's time. It's not question and answer. They can ask questions, but we won't respond during their time. And no debate on that. It's just their time. So with that then, Nicole, if you will bring the first person on.
The first person is Jim Visock. Jim, you should be able to unmute your microphone.
Good evening, Mayor. Lots of internet issues, so hopefully you guys can hear me.
Well, right now we can, so go ahead.
Okay, good. Couple things. On the sound thing you guys were talking about in the study meeting, I have regularly called on it, and it's actually 24-2-108. And at the very end of it, it says, if it can be heard more than 50 feet from the source, it is a Class B misdemeanor. I have a neighbor that plays mariachi music. I'm about 100 yards away from him. Triple pane windows, all the doors closed, and my TV on, and it sounds like I'm playing the music. Even when I call VEC on the non-emergency number, they can hear it. And police do respond. It takes them a lot of time because it is a priority 9 call, but they will respond. Let's see. One thing I have noticed over the last few weeks, and this is my perspective before somebody says that, the way that staff coming from, even from the top, talks to you guys as council, to me, it looks like it's very disrespectful, and it seems that they're talking down to some of you guys. That's my perspective, so that somebody else doesn't have to say that. My question is also coming up, where you got the budget thing coming up. My question is, how much of this money is coming out of the rainy day fund? I challenge you guys to look at what the amount in the rainy day fund is now and what will be in there after this budget goes through, even though these are technically, non-add-on things, But is money coming out of the rainy day fund? That would be my challenge for you guys, to take on and look at. That's all I have tonight. Be safe, be strong.
Thank you. Next.
Next, we have Andreas Rowe. Andreas, you should be able to go ahead and unmute your microphone.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor.
Are we having problems with the sound?
I talked to you yesterday.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear
We
me?
just had a little bit of feedback there, so go ahead.
Can you hear me better now?
You're fine. Go ahead.
Okay. So I am just coming to the meeting, and I want to make a complaint of that how I've been treated by West Valley City Police Department, and how I've asked to speak with the chief of police, and this could not happen. Said by the deputy chief that it was not possible for me to speak to the chief of police, and I'm not gonna state my other complaints here because I'm gonna talk to this. I think it's Mr. Plow on next week, and I can talk to him about that. But I'm just concerned as why a citizen can't speak to the chief of police, and that's it for me.
Thank you very much for your comments. Nicole, is there anyone else speaking tonight?
No, sir. That's everyone for the general public comment period.
Okay. Hopefully, maybe we'll have some on our public hearings, but then we'll come back. Mr. Pyle, any comments?
I don't have any comments tonight, sir. Thank you.
Council members, any comments? Hearing none, then we'll move on to our public hearings. Our first public hearing is reopening our current year fiscal budget, Ordinance 20-41. And we have several items that need to be dealt with. There are a number of items that are rollovers, in other words, carried forward from last year's budget. And then we also have some new grants that have come in that we will add to our budget. And then a few other items related to issues. The biggest one, of course, are the funds we received for COVID-19 and making sure that those are available, some leases, UDOT money, things like that. Oh, and then some from the Maverick Center energy efficient projects that we needed to deal with. And so these are adjustments to our budgets. There doesn't seem to be any significant controversy or unusualness about any of these, except for perhaps the COVID-19 funds, which are a part of this whole unique pandemic situation. With that introduction to that issue, I will ask the council if anyone else wants to make comments before I open it for public input. Hearing none, then Ms. Kamek, do you have anyone online who wants to speak to these changes in our budget?
No, sir.
With no one from the public to speak, then we will close the public comment portion, bring it back to the council for consideration of Ordinance 20-41.
Move to approve Ordinance 20-41.
Second.
Took a minute, but things are a little slower with electronic because we have to turn our mics on and off. But we do appreciate your patience as we work through these. With that motion before us, any final comments from the council? Hearing none, we will turn to our city recorder for the roll call vote.
Councilman Fitzie Umanu.
Aye.
Councilwoman Lang.
Yes.
Councilman Hune.
Aye.
Councilman Christensen.
Councilman Christensen's.
Yes.
Oh, there he made it. Just
Councilman Nordfelt.
Yes.
Mayor Bigelow.
aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
I noted that Councilman Christensen, your picture froze, so I was afraid you were completely locked up, but okay.
Well,
But-
it took me out and put me back in again, so.
Okay. All right, that takes care of that. Next, we have a second public hearing. This is regarding application Z-7 2020. And we will consider, when we get to that point, two items, ordinance 20-42 and resolution 20-150. This was filed by Hotel 5600, a zone change from RM and R110 to C2, general commercial. And this piece of properties, a couple of changes were occurring there in order to get this properly set up for residential and as well for a commercial lot. And the way it was configured before wasn't conducive to that. So the ordinance would be the one for the multiple unit dwelling residential and single dwelling residential to go to general commercial and multiple unit dwelling. And then the resolution would be the development agreement for that property. So with that introduction, then and the council can add any comments to that before I go to the public. Hearing none. Ms. Kamick, then anyone online for this one?
We do have one person, Jim Visak, who'd like to make a comment. And then just for the council's information, Steve Lavelle and Cameron Scott, who are representing the applicant on this application, are also available to answer questions if the council has any. But Jim, you should be able to speak now.
Good evening again. I just want to encourage the council to approve this as we need the housing in West Valley. You know, we need it badly. So I think this is a good place for it. And hopefully you guys will approve it. That's all I have.
Okay. Without further public comment, we'll bring it back to the council. We'll close the public comment portion. Council members, any comments or motions or discussion?
I would move for approval of ordinance. Well, are we doing the ordinance or the application first?
No, the ordinance.
Nicole?
The
Okay, thank you.
application is just the application. We
That's
don't
what
do
I was
anything.
thinking. So
You're right.
ordinance 20-42.
Second.
Properly before us. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll turn to our city recorder for the roll call vote.
Councilman Nordfelt.
Yes.
Councilman Christensen.
Yes.
Councilman Hune.
Aye.
Councilwoman Lang.
Yes.
Councilman Fitzie Umanu.
Aye.
And Mayor Bigelow.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
All right. That was the ordinance and now the resolution.
Move for
Move to
approval of
approve
resolution.
resolution 20-150.
Second.
Okay. One of the unique characteristics of electronic communications. That is properly before us. Any further comments? Then to our city recorder for the roll call vote.
Councilman Fitzie Umanu,
Aye.
Councilwoman Lang,
Yes.
Councilman Hune,
Aye.
Councilman Christensen,
yes,
Councilman Nordfelt,
Yes.
and Mayor Bigelow.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you very much. With that, next is our resolutions. We have 3 of them to deal with. The first one is Resolution 20-151 to approve the purchase of computer equipment and related services from Valcom. And this is for $69,000 coming from our existing, it's our existing budget because we now have the COVID money in our budget. And these are items that are authorized for city staff for emergency communications. And so there are laptops, desktops, phone devices, monitors, in order for a few key individuals to be able to have that equipment in a pandemic or other similar type of emergency situation. That is the issue to the council.
Oh, yeah, I move forward for the approval of resolution 29-151.
20.
20?
150.
I'll second that for resolution 20-151.
Properly before us. Any further comments? Hearing none, to our city recorder.
Councilman Nordfelt,
Yes.
Councilman Christensen,
yes,
Councilman Hune,
Aye.
Councilwoman Lang,
Yes.
yes,
Councilman Fitzie Umanu,
Aye.
and Mayor Bigelow.
Aye,
Motion passes unanimously.
thank you. Next, we have Resolution 20-152. And this is for the purchase of communications equipment from Motorola Solutions. And this is for $55,750. This is for Motorola radios, spare batteries and chargers, microphones and earpieces. And there are fewer of these, but they are also critical in having a way for executive staff and other key individuals to be able to connect through something other than our phone system should the need arise. These are again from those COVID funds and are authorized because those funds are limited in what they can be spent for. And so that is the issue before us to the council.
Mayor, I move for approval of resolution 20-152.
Second.
Properly before us, any further comments? Hearing none, to our city recorder for the vote.
Councilman Fitzie Umanu,
Aye.
Councilwoman Lang,
Yes.
Councilman Hune,
Aye.
Councilman Christensen,
yes,
Councilman Nordfelt,
Yes.
and Mayor Bigelow.
Aye,
Motion passes unanimously.
thank you. And then the next one is resolution 20-153. This is to purchase satellite communications equipment from Remote Satellite Systems. This one is for $61,000. And here we have just a few sat terminal type of communications items for working from a remote location or from home when other systems do not work. And then the annual service plan for those. the total for that, oh, I mentioned that. So that is the issue before us to the council.
Mayor, I'd move for approval of resolution 20-153.
Second.
Properly before us. Any further comments? Hearing none, to our city recorder.
Councilman Nordfelt,
Yes.
Councilman Christensen,
yes,
Councilman Hune,
Aye.
Councilwoman Lang,
Yes.
Councilman Fitzie Umanu,
Aye.
and Mayor Bigelow.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Next, under our new business, we have application SMI-7-2020 filed by Felix Correa, final plat approval for property at 6090 West, 3500 South. And this is, let's see, 3 lots on 1 acre of property, and meets all the requirements. So I don't see anything too unusual on that. I'll just let it go at that in the Meadow Breeze neighborhood. So with that, to the council.
I would move for approval of application SMI-7-2020.
second,
Properly before us. Any further comments? Hearing none, to our city recorder for the vote.
Councilman Fitzie Umanu,
Aye.
Councilwoman Lang,
Yes.
Councilman Hune,
Aye.
Councilman Christensen,
yes,
Councilman Nordfelt,
Yes.
and Mayor Bigelow.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Very good. Next, under new business, we have application SMI-8 2020. This is final plat approval again for the Hotel 5600 subdivision at 2880 South, 5600 West. Yes, we did discuss this earlier. Those other parts had to pass. This is the final plat approval for that property on 5600 West, where we changed the zoning around a little bit. And so let's see, 7.5 acres into 2 lots. One will be used for a future hotel and the other for future townhome development, probably. And there will be access from Glen Eagles Drive from the north, the south. It'll tie into some existing stub streets, so it looks like everything is working out there. Properly meets all the requirements for traffic flow and access. With that, to the council.
Yeah, Mayor, I'd move to approve the application SMI-8-2020.
Second.
Properly before us. Any further comments? Hearing none, to our city recorder for the vote.
Councilman Nordfelt,
Yes.
Councilman Christensen,
yes,
Councilman Hune,
Aye.
Councilwoman Lang,
Yes.
Councilman Fitzie Umanu,
Aye.
and Mayor Bigelow.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Next, we have our consent agenda. And we have 2 items on there. Resolution 20-154 and 20-155. 154 is a warranty deed, and this is along the 201. As I recall, wasn't it the north side of the 201? And the frontage road there for some requirements, some work being done. The second one, 20-155, is a right-of-way purchase agreement, quitclaim deed, temporary construction easement. This is again on one of those asphalt overlay projects that we're doing for some required ADA upgrades to curb and gutter and sidewalk. Those are the items on our consent agenda to the council.
I move for approval of the 2 items of our consent agenda.
Second?
Properly before us, and hearing no further comments, to our city recorder.
Councilman Fitzie Umanu.
Aye.
Councilwoman Lang.
Yes.
Councilman Hune.
Aye.
Councilman Christensen.
Yes.
Councilman Nordfelt.
Yes.
And Mayor Bigelow.
Yes.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Okay. Don is still experiencing a few problems, but we do manage to get his votes recorded. Let's see, we do not have a need for a closed session. That completes our agenda for this meeting. We do have a special RDA meeting immediately following this. And since that is a little bit different, I need a motion to close the city council meeting, and then we'll go to that next meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Without objection, we will stand adjourned from our city council meeting. Hearing no objections, that is unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll call to order the regular meeting of the Redevelopment Agency. Note that all members are present except member Bueller, who is excused. We've had an opening ceremony. Just one quick thing with the technology. If mine goes out again, Ms. Lang, will you please take over as vice chair?
I will. Thank you.
Thank you. We have approval of the minutes.
Move for approval of the August 25th minutes.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the August 25th minutes. Is there any discussion or concern? Hearing none, we will accept the August 25th minutes as approved unanimously. Any report from our Chief Executive Officer?
No report, sir. Thank you.
Then we have a problem.
Okay, we will now bring forward the
Thank you.
public hearing for application or
you.
resolution 20-13,
you.
which is our amended budget for the 2020-2021 budget. I'd like to now open the public hearing.
We do have one public hearing tonight, reopening of our fiscal year, same type of thing as with the revenues and authorizing the disbursement of funds.
There is no one here to speak to this, Chairman Christensen.
Is there anyone in line for public comment?
No, sir.
Public hearing and turn it back.
I move for
Is there
approval.
anyone from the agency that would like to?
I move for approval of resolution 20-13.
Second.
Is there? Thank you. Any discussion? Ms. Kamic, would you take the roll call vote?
Mr. Fitzsimonu,
Aye.
Ms. Lang,
Yes.
Mr. Hume,
Aye.
Mr. Bigelow,
Aye.
Mr. Nordfelt,
Yes.
and Chairman Christensen.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
One final motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Is there any dissension to adjourning? Hearing none, we will stand adjourned. Thank you all for putting up with my internet connection.